Hi everyone, this is John Corley at Plant Based Life, and quick video, haven't done one for a few days. It's going to be a bit more on immunity. Been talking about it quite a lot recently in the wake of the COVID-19 situation and the lockdowns and everything that's going on around the world at the moment. Now, obviously immunity is a big thing. We've spoken about it a lot, and I've done various blog articles and everything else. But one thing I want to touch on here, which is extremely important to know. Your first point of immunity in the human body, the place that protects you the most, is your gut. Okay, your gut holds about 70% of the gut lining of your immune response and how your immune system will respond and get back and look after you when you get exposed to certain pathogens and bacteria and infections and everything else. So very important to keep your gut as healthy as possible. Now, how do you keep your gut healthy? Well, plant-based lifestyle. When you're getting an abundant amount of fresh fruits, vegetables, as they're meant to be in nature, that delivers a lot of prebiotics. And if you get them from soil that's very good soil, not depleted soil like most of the soil we've got here in Australia. You might be fortunate enough to grow your own, which is amazing. You may add minerals and everything else to the soil, but go remember there's a microbiome, what we've got in our gut, in soil as well. And it's bacteria. Bacteria is what we are predominantly made up of, right? Humans are essentially made up of a lot of different strands of bacteria, and our gut is like an ecosystem. And you want to feed that bacteria with healthy bacteria, and you get a lot of this from plant foods which have prebiotics. You hear a lot of people talk about probiotics, but prebiotics is fibre, okay? And there's a lot of benefit to getting that into your diet. Now, obviously, there's certain foods that may not respond well for certain people. Everybody's unique, okay? But I will say that if you can have a predominant plant-based nutrition, lifestyle, then that's going to certainly improve your gut flora and your immune response, no doubt about it. I've spoken about all the other ways to boost immunity, but this is the most important part, really, is getting that your gut really to have that really good level of healthy and bacteria balance that will help you in times of illness or when you need your immune system the most. And I think at the moment with everything that's going on in the world, we all need our immune system to have a bit of a boost, so there's no doubt that we're all going to get exposed to COVID-19 in some way or another. When you look at how quickly it's spreading at the moment, even with all the lockdowns and isolations. But look, generally from all the information I've read, is that if you're a reasonably healthy person and not too obviously not over 70 or above, I believe, then you're not immune compromised, then you should be able to deal with this pretty quickly and recover reasonably quickly, from what I've read. But I'm not a medical specialist, okay? But then obviously there will be people who are immune compromised, and there's a lot of people out there who are immune compromised and don't know. And one of the primary reasons you're immune compromised, or can be, is because your gut isn't working the way it should, okay? Now, you may need probiotics, you may need other things. I'm not a big fan of probiotics because I've spoken about this before. There's a lot of different strains of bacteria that can come into this ecosystem, your microbiome. And these probiotics, they only have, maybe 2 or 3 or 5 strains in them, right? It might work for some people, might not for others, okay? So it's not like one probiotic is going to fix a lot of people's problems. Everyone's unique, so a lot of the time it has to be addressed individually. But I will say, there's billions and billions of type of bacteria that can be in your gut, and a probiotic in its own is not going to fix it. Healthy lifestyle choices and maybe some supplementation of a probiotic, getting prebiotics from the foods, trying to have organic and biodynamic, fruits and vegetables if you can, is really good. And if you've got that, if you're fortunate enough not to live in an apartment like we do, and you can grow your own, you've got that opportunity to you, that's amazing. You know, we were going to a community garden down the road here and helping out there, but unfortunately with everything that's going on in the world at the moment, can't really do much of that, you know, so, which is a shame. You know, it's good to get out in nature, which I talk about a lot. And you know, the other things that affect microbiome is your thought process. You know, negative thoughts can have a, you know, stress, cortisol being raised, okay, that has a negative effect on the gut, negative effect on how your digestion works. You know, the number one thing that will lower your immunity is an overload of stress, and that in the world at the moment, a lot of people are getting heavily stressed because of financial stress and everything else that's going on. You know, worried about their health, worried about their family's health, if they're going to get exposed to this bug or any other bug that's going around. So look, at the end of the day though, you've got to try, and I've spoken about it before, try and implement mindfulness practices. Okay, focus on your breathing, meditation, anything that can bring you back to the moment, and try not to worry about the things you can't control. I've spoken about it many times, but the number one thing of immunity is your gut. So try not to get stressed, because that will compromise your gut flora, okay, and your immune response. Try to get the healthy plant-based foods into your lifestyle as much as you can. Sauerkraut is really good, fermented foods, really good for the gut, and another thing to add in. You know, so there's lots of things you can do to improve your gut flora, okay? So I just wanted to talk about that because I've done quite a bit on immunity, didn't really talk about how important, I think I touched on it, but didn't go into how important the gut is when it comes to immunity. It's the first part that protects you, okay? And if your gut is compromised and your gut flora is not strong, bacteria balance isn't good, you're going to be more susceptible to catching these bugs and probably taking longer to fight them as well, okay? So remember, peace, movement and plants.